You know, she said that Marilyn Monroe haunted the set.
I know. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, if the ghost is haunting you, if you were filming the movie where she died and you are getting haunted, get the out.
Welcome to Keep It, Cricket Media's show about pop culture and politics and what happens when they smack into each other at an alarming speed. I'm your host, Ira Madison III. I'm a television writer and Fall Out Boy fan.
I'm Louis Fertel. I'm a TV writer and Jane Fonda historian.
Let's get into it.
And we are back for an all-new episode of Keep It. I'm Ira Madison III.
I'm Louis Fertel, arguably the woman king of Keep It.
Wow.
You're the man. You're the man queen of Keep It.
Gina Prince Blythewood, your next assignment.
We are excited to have a guest host with us this week. It is Sam Sanders, fresh off of hosting NPR's It's Been a Minute, and now you have 12 podcasts.
Listen, 12 podcasts. I got to put my dogs through dog college, okay? It's not cheap. I'm so happy to be here with you both. I'm excited about it.
I'm also just thinking about dogs with liberal arts degrees now. I think it sounds very cute. There should be a whole
Right?
William Wegman type photo shoot thing with dogs getting degrees.
Well, you know, Hooch famously did not have a degree.
Listen.
Yeah. You don't need one to be a police dog, apparently.
That's right.
Oh my.
He turned down the full scholarship to Juilliard. That's right. He turned it down.
You are right. I have 2 jobs now.
You have 2, yes. Okay. Vibe check, and also you have a podcast at Vulture as well.
Called Into It. Yeah. So Into It is a show with Vulture and New York Magazine. It is a weekly digest of pop culture and a showcase of the best and brightest of Vulture. All kinds of stuff, deep dives into the culture, fun games, some celebrities, etc. And then my other show is just a gap fest with 2 good friends of mine, poet Saeed Jones and producer and Tony winner Zach Stafford. We literally had an idea during the pandemic to turn our group chat into a podcast, and someone bought it. So we get together and talk about stuff we want to talk about every Wednesday. So Wednesdays and Thursdays, you can find
I just want to say, by the way, that most people, I feel like half the universe has the idea to turn their group chat into a podcast, and I need to discourage that right now. I don't want to see that or hear it, generally speaking. Sam Sanders, I'm going to allow it from you, and Saeed, who is a Keep It veteran.
Yes.
But Zach is too.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, we invented your podcast. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Y'all's cut is in the mail. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's technically a spinoff. Actually, you know what? You were the last of your co-hosts to be on this show, and yet we have been on your show before. I think we've been
Y'all
on,
came
it's
on
been
my
a minute,
last show.
I've been
Yeah.
2 or 3 times before.
I feel like you might have been. And then I've been with y'all's colleagues over at Pod Save a few times, and I've hung with Mr. Lovett a few times. So I'm just happy that I've finally made it here, the promised land of crooked.
I did not know you were a liberal hack. It's good enough.
I am. Oh, yes.
You know what's funny about a group chat as a podcast is that my favorite thing about a group text is that, so you start with a group thread that's maybe 8 to 10 people. They're either your close friends or your acquaintances, people that you hang out with socially, or a lot of group chats are formed from a vacation.
Yes.
I love those.
Those are hard.
You travel with people, and they are hard, but it's if they're your friends, then that's good. But if there's a couple other random people in there, it's always funny thinking about the 6 of us keep talking after the vacation's over, and there's 2 or 3 people on the thread who are I wish they would shut the fuck up.
Well, and then there's always that one inside joke from the vacation that was only funny on the vacation, yet that one person wants to keep bringing it up every 3 days, and you're we've moved on. We have moved on.
And also, we still have a bond without that joke. You don't need to bring up the joke.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is that it is useful to still bully the friend who, booked a bad Airbnb.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I'm shouting out my friend Chris Aragon, who will never live down the fact that he booked a horrible Airbnb for us in Barcelona.
How horrible was it?
No air conditioning.
Yeah, no. And you can check for that. You can check for that.
And the bedroom lies.
That sounds like an erotic thriller. Bedroom lies.
One of the beds was a cot in a bathroom.
Oh my god.
That's not legal.
Yeah,
you can do that?
Yeah. I don't know what they could do in Barcelona, okay? It's a whole other world over there.
I just want to say that Sam is in a chic-looking Airbnb
I'm currently,
in San Antonio.
yeah.
Which calls to mind the question, who is the definitive San Antonio celebrity? It's a gigantic city, and I can't think of anybody who's from there. Google
So there's
is telling me Jared Padalecki.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Who is that?
Well,
who is that?
Can we not disrespect Supernatural on this thread?
It's on its 444th season on the Reels channel.
I'm going to tell you the biggest stars of San Antonio. So I went to college here. I went to the University of the Incarnate Word, and Eva Longoria's character's husband on Desperate Housewives is also an Incarnate Word alum.
Carlos.
Yes. Also,
okay.
Selena is not from San Antonio, but San Antonio claims Selena.
Okay.
Also, for a while,
Megan
arguably heard of San Antonio.
Yes.
Megan Thee Stallion was born in San Antonio.
I didn't know that, but she reps Houston.
But she reps Houston, yeah. You know.
Also, so when I was a kid, the Spurs were like the best team in the NBA, and some of those players are still classic icons, like David Robinson, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. Those dudes, we still rep them hard too.
Well, Eva Longoria's ex-husband.
Yes.
Yeah. The Eva and Tony era was quaint, you know? I loved it.
Listen, they were like the king and queen of San Antonio. You couldn't tell us nothing. We had our Jay-Z and Beyonce down here. And then they broke up.
I'm going to warn you that in the future, if you bring up Spurs, you better be talking about something that Reba is wearing. Okay, I don't want any of that on my podcast.
Listen, that's the extent of my basketball knowledge. That is the extent of my basketball knowledge.
Good. Nice save. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Lewis wants to talk about Shane for an hour. Okay, that's what we're going to get into.
Alan Ladd. Yes, Brandon DeWild, one of the great child actors. See, you've set me off.
I love it.
Anyway, I'm so excited to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Sam.
I love y'all's show. Y'all have been a companion to me for a long time, and there are many road trips where like I can remember things y'all have said at a certain point when I was like on the 10 driving home. Like, so this is nice for me. This is really good.
Oh, how nice!
I appreciate
y'all.
y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's wild that we've been doing this for 5 years. It's. I want to ask you that too. How long did you do NPR?
I was at NPR, I would say in my exit interviews and press stuff that it was 12 years. It was actually 13 years. I just don't say 13 a lot. It's an unlucky number. But I went right to graduate school after undergrad and then right to NPR after that. So I started interning for the local station in Boston in 2009. And I was basically public radio ever since then.
Okay. How long was It's Been a Minute?
It's Been a Minute I hosted it almost 5 years. And before that, I hosted the NPR Politics podcast for about a year and a half.
Jesus Christ, like Lucille Ball, all these fucking syndicated series all over the place.
She's working.
Your next one is Here's Sam Sanders.
Yes.
You know, we're approached 5 years in January, but this is just going on like a Chuck Lorre show.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
This is we have nothing better to do.
Still getting gimme nominations for Alice and Janney. Yeah.
All right, we're going to get our show started. We are going to talk about some of the films that we've seen lately, what's exciting us, and we want to get Sam's thoughts on the culture at large. We're going to focus on The Woman King, which came out this weekend, and have a lot of thoughts.
Me too.
Yeah. We're also going to talk about Nicki Minaj. Unfortunately,
I tried to read up on that before we started today, and I was like, "There's too much to read up on. Y'all gotta fill me in."
There is far too much, and I feel like we've addressed it, and now it's time. It's time to actually address her, the Barbz, and my life as a Barb.
Although I don't want to get doxxed. I don't want to get doxxed after this taping, sir.
Nicki Minaj's marriage to the internet, fraught. It's fraught.
All right, we have a lot more Keep It coming up. We will be right back. We keep saying this every week, but the cinema is back. And this weekend saw a glut of new releases. And there's a bunch of things coming out soon, too, that I feel like we're either excited for or not excited for. So let's get into those. First, The Woman King, I think, is fantastic.
Okay.
I enjoyed it as a film, as a cinematic experience. Did I love everything about it? No, but it felt like I was watching. It felt like it accomplished what producer Maria Bello
and screenwriter Maria Bello. What? In the randomizer of lady celebs who could have written this movie. So, co-star of Duets, Maria Bello.
Walking around with her fedora on Prime Suspect, Maria Bello.
That's the same, yes.
She talked about wanting to create a Braveheart starring women. And you know what? I think this film is just about as good as Braveheart. Maybe better, because it doesn't have Mel Gibson in it.
That's true. I would have loved a Sophie Marceau cameo, but you know what? In Dahomey, I don't feel like Sophie would be walking around, so I sort of understand.
Is the place called Dahomey?
Yes. Oh, a real kingdom
That's
from
funny.
like the early 19th century. It's in modern day Benin in Africa.
Okay.
But Gina Prince Bythewood is the director who did Love and Basketball and Beyond the Lights. And I have to say, like, you would not guess she directed those movies. This is an intense and serious epic with Viola Davis giving. Her character has qualities that you've seen in Viola Davis before. Like there's the stalwart, the seemingly immovable, the all powerful with like hard and tough wisdom behind the eyes. But it's also not like a Viola Davis I've seen
How so?
before. In that I don't know, she's so militaristic in a way that I don't know. In a way, I think Viola Davis characters are supposed to be like generally relatable to us. Like our inner strength is her inner strength, and this is not that. She's like far advanced, I would say. And also, what this movie to me is really about is the continuing rise of Lashana Lynch, who we loved in the James Bond films, or in the last James Bond film in No Time to Die, correct? And she is, first of all, she gets a lot of opportunity in this movie as somebody who's kind of training this young soldier girl to be fierce, one, but two, so funny. The amount of like comic side eye she gets to deal in, and the amount of playful condescension she gets to do, stellar. I'm really looking forward to her and more stuff.
Yeah, Lashana Lynch is sort of like fantastic for me in this film. And what's actually interesting about the film, Sam, is that it's caused a bit of Twitter brouhaha at first.
Wait, why?
What does it? But the story is about two warring African nations, and it addresses the fact that like African nations used to sell the captives of other nations to slavers, European slavers, and it addresses a part of history that I feel like we don't really talk about, and the fact that like obviously white people didn't just come to Africa and like scoop up everybody on their own. There was a lot of sort of fraught history in this, and the idea that if you are fighting people with muskets and guns, and they have gold, and they come in and they convince you that turning against one another is for your benefit. It happens. That happens globally. That has happened everywhere.
Did people, were they mad that it was even in there at all, or were they mad because the way they did it wasn't historically accurate?
Mad that it was in there at all. They were mad before the movie came out. I mean, the same way that people were mad in Harriet, with the idea that someone would turn in the slaves who were trying to escape.
Wow.
Who was black. I mean, it's happened. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie yet. I've heard good things. I love that director. I think Beyond the Lights is pretty incredible. I think Love and Basketball is a classic.
It's one of my favorite fucking movies.
It's
Beyond the
so
Lights.
good.
Like, we don't talk about how good that movie is, and unfortunately it like came out right before like the Nate Parker scandal happened. But he and Gugu are so good in that film.
Yeah. What I keep wondering in the launch of this movie, and the launch has gone well. I want to say it made some $19 million its first weekend at the box office. Really good for this time of year. I was worried about The Woman King because I'm like, if you're just waiting for Black Panther, the sequel, do you want to watch this movie? But it seems like that didn't hurt them. They made some good money. Apparently, it was well received at TIFF. Viola Davis doing Viola Davis. There's even already, I don't know, and check me on this, there's some Oscar buzz for her for this, maybe, possibly. I don't know what the
people are calling it a career best for Viola Davis. And
but everything she does is career best, right?
Her job is to deliver career best. That's what she is. But that said, I mean, of course, never counter out. I think this is one of the most exciting Best Actress races in years because we have her, we have Michelle Yeoh, who is still looming large in the conversation.
Yes.
We have Cate Blanchett in the upcoming movie Tar, which I feel like is going to sincerely light me on fire. Like I'm going to walk out of the theater with embers shooting off. Olivia Colman is back, and as we know, remember that one year she menaced Glenn Close, and it worked out. It was nasty, but I respected it.
Did she do it 2 years in a row?
She has 3 nominations already. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't all 1 year after the other, but yeah, 3 nominations.
Here's my question for you both, and here's what I keep waiting for Viola Davis to do. I want to see if she can do comedy. Is there any comedy from her in this movie?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
In the same way that Lashana Lynch gets to be like so tough and wise that like dealing with other people is an eye roll to her.
Yeah.
Viola Davis gets some of that and really just the most withering looks. Actually, I would describe it as Maggie Smith comedy. What Viola Davis does in
I
this
want
movie.
that.
Well, she's funny in Suicide Squad too, but I would say she has not been afforded comedy in the way that she hasn't been afforded romantic comedy, I guess. And maybe that's what you're missing. Because I remember
I think so.
There's always those, she always is like giving a great speech somewhere, and she's always referring to the fact that people refer to her, it's like Black Meryl Streep, but I don't get these Black Meryl Streep roles. And when you think about Meryl at the height of her career, when she was doing like an Out of Africa, but then was also doing, like A Death Becomes Her, but then also doing like a Heartburn. I'm like, I think Heartburn is boring, but I would love to see a Viola Davis Heartburn.
What I want to see is a Viola Davis Black Mamma Mia, and the music is not ABBA. The music is who's a Black classic music group? Frankie Beverly and Maze. All of their hits.
Please. Oh my God.
That's what I want. I also got to say, when I think about Viola Davis in this movie, which I'm going to see before this week is done, I'm just glad to have her back in a movie. She had gotten into this not rut. I'm sure it was very lucrative for her. She was on a really big, long speaking circuit, giving her little motivational speeches and sermons everywhere. I tried to watch the one she did with Oprah where they just sat down and talked about therapy speak for an hour. She's good at that, but I'm like, I want to see you act. So I'm glad she's back on the screen acting. I like that.
That said, the thing about Viola Davis is she always gives you the performance that you expect from her, but then her speaking thing is always in tandem. Like she brings the game that goes with it. I want to see the meeting that goes into Viola Davis campaigning because I've just never seen somebody on an awards circuit who seems to have banked so much information. Like she'll always reference like, I don't know, like crazy things that you wouldn't know off the top of your head. And it almost seems like she can predict questions and stuff. She's a really smart campaigner. And also just, rad person, obviously, additionally. But
it feels like she's constantly preparing a sermon. And they're good sermons.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it is a thing.
One thing I also want to say about the film, too, is that, she's sort of, we got to the typical thing that happens when a Black big budget, sort of mainstream film is coming out where people are like, if you want to see more of these, you need to like actually go and support it. And, we feel that as like Black people Sam, we feel that as like queer people Lewis, all three of us too. But like, I like that this movie is actually good too, because a lot of times people say like, you got to bring your dollars to support Black cinema, and then
that's
I'll
a
go
lie.
see the movie, and I'm like, it's bad.
Yeah,
and then
but also
bad.
That's a lie.
This is thankfully good.
Yes. These studios have more money than they know what to do with. And they'll spend $1 billion.
They don't give a fuck.
They'll spend $1 billion to reboot Lord of the Rings. So they have the money. And if they want to support it, it doesn't matter what the last movie did or not. Because, no one's saying if we don't support Cha-Cha Real Smooth, we're not going to make another white boy indie comedy. Like, they're not saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's wild to me. Like, they can make whatever movie they want to.
I know. I actually wish it had a bigger budget, to be honest.
Really?
I feel like my two knocks against it where I feel like they needed more sets. But also, there were some COVID problems too. So like I could get it, but I wanted it to feel more expansive than just inside the palace. I wanted it to feel as more epic as Braveheart. I also don't really like movies like that, but I did love this movie and enjoy watching it. So I'm like, maybe I just don't like movies like that about white men. And two, Maria Bello, story credit, and then I believe Dana Stevens, is the screenwriter who's done. She created What About Brian? She wrote City of Angels, Life or Something Like It. Definitely had a white woman vibe to it a bit, because it did not.
The Woman King?
It didn't need the mulatto love story that's in it.
Not mulatto. Not mulatto.
Truly, one of the plot points is there's a slaver who comes, and one of his friends comes along with him, and he's mixed because his mother was sold from the Dahomey tribe and had always talked about that was the place where she was most free. So he visits so that he could see where his mother came from. And he plays into the story in a romantic way. And I was like, yeah, a white woman wrote this.
Wow. Also, not to be racist, but every time y'all say Dahomey, I want to respond, no, you Dahomey. That's rude. I'm sorry.
I think you can say that. I think that's fair.
Okay.
And also, I think I am that. So it would really be reassuring to me. I just want to say, tangent, you just brought up the movie City of Angels. What a crazy moment in time where at least everybody I knew saw that movie and everybody I knew owned the soundtrack for a couple of reasons.
Because the Goo Goo Dolls, right?
Goo Goo Dolls were on it, Iris. And then also, we were desperately waiting for Alanis Morissette's second album. And it wasn't coming out, so she put out the single "Uninvited" on there, and
that
it became
song
this huge sensation.
Jams.
Yeah,
that song jams. Yeah. Alanis did that song.
Yeah, Sarah McLachlan's Angel is in that film too. I mean, Bono. There's a U2.
There were 2 or 3 videos from that soundtrack that were on VH1 for like 2 years straight. You could not see Iris on VH1 every day.
Oh, yeah. No,
every hour.
I mean, VH1 basically changed its name to the City of Angels Network. Yes, right.
So that's also what I mean when you talk about like wanting Viola Davis in something comedic. Not even comedic. I want... You
want Black Mamma Mia. I'm telling you. You want Black Mamma Mia.
She always has to play the hardened thing. I would like Black Mamma Mia, but like she always has to play sort of like something hardened. And I'm like, I miss like a City of Angels, and I don't think we really got a lot of like some of those or like films like that for so many of our Black female leads. And I feel like, give them some tenderness, some Al Green.
I also wonder, though, is it what she wants? At this point in her career, she probably can tell folks what she wants to do and probably can get some folks to write her a project.
But
she does not want to do that.
She always says in her sermons that she can't, though.
I feel like at a certain point, that is less true than you say.
Self-fulfilling?
Like not to cast aspersion, but like if Viola Davis went to her team and said, I need a rom-com, they could get her a rom-com at this point? Am I wrong to think that?
Yeah. Well, we also don't really make adult rom-coms anymore. I'm looking forward to the
George Clooney, Julia Roberts. I've watched the trailer 5 times. It looks so great.
The trailer tells you everything, but I don't care. I saw there was a Vanity Fair interview that was going around with them, like a video one, and it's just like, remember Chemistry?
Remember Movie Stars? We
Also,
used to have movie stars.
I just want to say I cannot get over in general how, as a teenager, how wrong I was about Julia Roberts. I took her for granted, and I thought she would just always be in every movie forever. And I don't know, I guess I thought her appeal was bland. Excuse me. Julia Roberts is, first of all, hilarious.
Yes.
Second of all, obviously, just an amazing presence, period. But watching this interview with George Clooney, you're just reminded, like, there's something sizzling about her. And also a bit of a don't fuck with me vibe, too, which I love hanging under everything she says. Like, I can be charming for now.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of a threat in there. I like it.
Well, I feel like movie stars like her and like George Clooney and just like the big ones of yesteryear and a few from today like Keke Palmer, they have this quality where they know they're hot, they know they're cool, they know they're fun, and they aren't afraid of it. They're not afraid of it. And that confidence just pulls you in even more. And I feel like a lot of these new celebrities that come up on social or Instagram or TikTok, they're performing timidity. in a way that I find repulsive.
And
Be a star.
Relatability.
Yeah. Like, Julia Roberts is not like you. She's cooler than you. She's hotter than you. But she's nice, and you love it, right? And I want more of that energy. Like, she's an alpha movie stars. I love that.
Well, so I feel like that's why I liked the Don't Worry, Darling press tour stuff with Florence Pugh, because I felt
not to make it about Don't Worry, Darling.
No, but I just felt she felt like a star.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It felt like we hadn't had a moment where it's like you had silly Hollywood gossip about a film and like an actor and a director like feuding with each other or like on set drama, and it felt like everything about her arrival at Venice, like, and everything swirling around it, it felt like a star again, you know? It wasn't trying to be like, oh, I'm relatable, I want to do this. It was like, no, you were like, let her do what she want to do.
Let her do what she wants.
She has it. I feel like Zendaya has it.
Timothy
Chalamet has it.
Yes, quite.
I think Timothy Chalamet does have it. He might annoy you.
He annoys me.
Timothy Chalamet has that like annoying male star quality.
You can't be into movie stars and dislike Timothy Chalamet. He is bringing it in a way that no other male actor is. Yeah,
I know. I hear you. You know what it is? It's because I saw those videos of him from high school when he would walk around rapping in high school, and I didn't like that.
Which I did forget about.
I didn't like that. Also,
why did I forget about it? Because my brain couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So
Chemically,
also, I expelled it.
I figured it out. The Black Mamma Mia starring Viola Davis will have a soundtrack of only Stevie Wonder classics.
It could be that or Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Because that's actually
that's
Stevie Wonder might be better, might be a bigger range there, and you get some ballads like you would with ABBA too. You know, you can like turn For Once in My Life into a big climax.
Oh yeah.
If it's Earth, Wind, and Fire, though, the movie is called like September, and it's about a wedding that was on the 21st of September, and this couple is divorced now, and they're remembering the 21st of September. And you know what? It was probably also like a double wedding between two friends, two couples, and none of them speak anymore. And now they are, for some reason, brought back together because their kids are getting married on the 21st of September.
Can we write this? And where is this film set? Don't say Atlanta. Let's be more adventurous.
No, not Atlanta. Not Atlanta. This is set like
Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. But I think you want the foreign thing too. You know, you want like
Serpentine Fire. Where are we gonna play that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where will we set this movie? Let's put it in. Let's think.
Jamaica.
Let's circle back. This is the project. Oh,
Jamaica, the Bahamas.
Yeah. This is a winning movie.
Okay.
Write this. Write this.
Easy.
Thank you. You know, before we wrap this up, has anyone seen literally any other movie that they've cared about recently?
Well, I want to say that coming out in a second is Bros, the Billy Eichner rom-com. It'll be in theaters. Luke McFarlane. Also, like tons of queer actors are in this. And I just want to say, in the run-up to this movie coming out, and there's been a lot of fanfare about the fact that it's the first gay rom-com in a theater and stuff. I just feel like, and full disclosure, I wrote for Billy on the Street. Billy's a friend of ours. We see him all the time, whatever. I personally just want to say, I feel like not enough has been said about how original a voice Billy Eichner has been, just period. He basically has invented an entire lane of comedy and like introduced it to people. And not only was it fucking hilarious, but he really used a bunch of qualities about being a gay guy I have not seen in a lot of other comedy, period. And that it's exposed to so many people and they love it. For example, the like finding the average pop culture opinion monotonous. Like going up to somebody on the street and be like, shut the fuck up. You think that? Like that's resting in a lot of gay people's heads. Like I have to put up with your mediocrity, even though I, as a gay man, have assigned myself to be a pop culture custodian and historian. and somehow your opinion means more than mine because I'm some weirdo. I just have appreciated his voice even before I worked for him. The angst he brings, the volume of the comedy. It's just like it was all completely new in so many different ways, and I'm glad we're going to get to see that in Bros, which
I'm excited about it.
Which is a hilarious film.
So I'm going to see it because I'm going to be interviewing Guy Branum about it. He worked on it. And I love
Keep
him.
It legend.
Yes. And his last book, so good. I'm just like, I'm excited to just see the movie. You know, there's so much chatter and dialogue around the conversations around the thing. It's time for the thing, and I can't wait to see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this year has been a big year for conversations around movies again. You know, there was
discourse about
bros,
discourse about discourses.
Right?
Yeah,
the discourse about Bros versus Fire Island, and it was just so funny because it's like obviously like so many people from Fire Island are in Bros, or like they're all friends with each other, and you know it's that, and then you know there's discourse. I mean, this fucking movie Blonde comes out this weekend, and I'm like, I'm already tired of hearing about.
Oh, the Ana de Armas one.
Yes, I'm already tired of hearing about it.
You know, she said that Marilyn Monroe haunted the set.
I know, and I'm like, listen, bitch. I'm like, if the ghost is haunting you, if you were filming the movie where she died, and you are getting haunted, get the fuck out.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Is that a
Molly,
good thing?
you in danger, girl.
That is literally like a House on Haunted Hill. Okay, like it's like there's a horror movie about the making of Blonde where you're shooting a movie where Marilyn Monroe died, and she's like, I've had it with y'all.
Can you believe we're only 6 or 7 more movies away from understanding where Marilyn Monroe is coming from? Wow. I love mythologizing this basic problem she had. Anyway. Yeah.
Who plays...
You know who's next? You know who's next, though? Like, I cannot believe that we already have a new Elvis movie coming out.
What, we do?
Right.
We do?
The Priscilla movie?
Sophia Coppola is making Priscilla, and I'm like... We are already getting to the point now. I'm like, is Elvis next or Priscilla or something like? Is Elvis the next celebrity that we're like? Here's a bunch of movies about him.
It should take place entirely behind the scenes on the movie The Naked Gun, like well after Elvis is done. Okay.
That and you know, speaking of like, that's another reason to take it back to the Woman King. Why I liked hearing a new sort of like original story, original in the sense that we haven't seen this story so much before. We like it's new information to us. I'm like, there's the Ryan Murphy, Jeffrey Dahmer thing coming out, and I'm like, aren't we tired of that bitch?
I don't need that. I don't need that. What I need is September, the Black Mamma Mia starring Viola Davis. Who's her love interest? To close the loop, who's her love interest?
Well, who can sing?
Yeah, is Stokes Mitchell around? What's he up to?
Yeah, Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Jamie Foxx can sing, but I don't know.
Oh, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
That sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, can Viola sing, though, is the question. Can Viola sing? Doesn't matter.
Can Meryl?
Movie.
I have to say, when I see Meryl Streep sing in a movie, I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, it's just not the thing I need from her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ricky and the Flash in the Pan.
Well, the Gene Shalit jumped out. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Be serious, Sam. All right, Nicki Minaj is back in the news, and this time it's her fans who are making waves as they harass and threaten one of Nicki's critics, journalist Kimberly Foster. There's a lot of other things going on too. Nicki's also suing a woman, a blogger who called her a cokehead.
But Nicki said, I've never, ever done coke. And I was like, never, ever? Never, ever? Your whole life, Nicki? I don't,
Statistically, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, right.
Thank you.
The funny thing about the blogger who called her a cokehead is that the blogger first said, and by the way, the blogger's name is Nosy Ho, spelled Heaux. So, you know, you already know that she gets into people's business, you know? Mm-hmm. She's a nosy hoe. And she's probably going to talk about your nose where people do coke, you know? So
like
many layers here. So many layers here. But when she first was saying it, she was like, allegedly, Nicki does cocaine. She's a cokehead. And then she's like, I'm not even going to say allegedly. She does it. I was like, well, sis, come on. Did Star Jones teach you nothing?
The lawsuit. She wanted
Did Star
the
Jones
lawsuit.
on The View teach you nothing? Did Wendy Williams teach you nothing? You got to keep saying allegedly. Once you say, I don't mean allegedly, you deserve the lawsuit.
I say allegedly when I'm talking to my dog. I say allegedly to everybody. Allegedly everything. Cover your ass. What's weird to me, though, is apparently Nicki sued this woman for only $75,000. That's all.
What?
Well,
is that even a lawsuit? That's like game show winnings.
I remember blogging, and $75,000 was a lot of money at the time.
But I'm just saying that's like the level that Judge Judy handles. It's just not that significant.
That's like, I know, that's like 3 times as much as I used to make at BuzzFeed.
Right. Oh wow, they were paying you what? They're paying you in coupons. What was going on there?
They paid me in Chiquita bananas. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of a legend, by the way, though, I want to point out that someone called me out on Instagram for last week's episode, saying, "Ira, I love how you referred to Anne Boleyn's alleged scandals."
Yeah, we don't want her after us. The allegedly thing is interesting. At Kimmel, routinely, Don Trump Jr. comes up, and you want to say the same thing about him. Then you realize, oh no, it's different than making a joke in another way, like using those kinds of words, like cokehead, like is treacherous.
Yeah. I found it really interesting when I did try to read up on this, and it's so many layers to it. The lawyers' comments and filings are just as aggressive and petty and antagonistic as like the Barbz on Twitter. Her lawyer's crazy too. Like the lawyer is like picking a fight in these legal documents. I don't understand what's gotten over her and her team. She's just mad at the world. And I'm like, Nicki, why are you mad? Queen Radio is paying you a lot of money. You got a ton of hits. I'm sure you're still rich. What's up? Like, why? What's going on?
Is Queen Radio paying her a lot of money? Because Azealia Banks has famously said podcasts are the brokest form of media.
I just don't get why she's so angry.
I don't
really
either.
don't get it.
And I think this goes to, so the original thing is Kimberly Foster is suing Barbz for doxing her. She, tweeted a defense of Lil' Kim's influence on Nicki, and then she also tweeted, Nicki is so clearly a horrible person. Negativity sticks to her like glue. I don't know if we've ever seen this before. And, I say this as a person who has been a huge Nicki Minaj fan, I've had to fall off in recent years just because, like, the internet presence is so toxic. And it's not just her; it's truly the fan base, and it's a feeding of one another. And I don't think I've seen this before either.
Well, what I haven't seen is how she kind of feeds it. She'll like some of these really mean trolls' tweets when they're going after folks that she hates, and then she'll kind of subtly tell them. She follows them, and then she'll subtly tell them, "All right, go ahead, go off, go get them." Like she kind of like calls the dogs in. It's very dangerous, to see Kimberly Foster share some of those screen grabs of the messages she was getting. Folks were saying, I don't care if you live in a secure apartment. We're going to come find you and, like, kill you. Literally. They were saying this.
Yeah.
All because she said once, I don't like Nicki. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And, like, behind all of this, there's also the whole thing that, like, apparently Nicki is an anti-vaxxer on top of all this mess. It's crazy.
Oh, yes. Well, she does have some strange theories about that regarding friends of friends of friends or whatever that was. That, by the way, I feel like went by the wayside in a way that I did not expect. I thought we would still be making jokes about that like years and years on.
I'm still making jokes about that.
Okay, good. Thank you for keeping it up. No, but something that's interesting to me is I get fed up when people say things like, oh, this person has so much money or they're so successful. Why are they even spending time on Twitter? It's like, well, you want to know what people are up to. Like, you're still a sociable human being. Like, I feel like you can't blame people for wanting to be involved in a conversation. That said, Nicki Minaj in particular, I just feel like life would be better if the internet never happened to her. Every story, she's never done one rad thing on the internet.
Yeah. Well, and it's like once you reach a certain level of fame, you're really not supposed to tweet. Like that's kind of the secret rule. You're that big now, don't tweet. Beyonce ain't tweeting. Taylor Swift ain't tweeting. And the fact that like Nicki Minaj isn't just on Twitter every day, but also has Queen Radio where she just pops off about whatever for hours a day, that is a recipe for disaster for someone as famous as she is. When you're that big, speak less, not more.
Yeah, and it's also the following of the fans too, because it's like you have to feed into the like always saying something positive about her because she's following you. She could be monitoring what you're saying, and I just don't understand the impetus. And then it's not just Barbz too, from a lot of stands, like the impetus to, you're attacking someone in the name of this person. There's just a lot of cruelty and nastiness that comes with a lot of internet fandoms at this point, and it's troubling because it's, the stuff that was written to Kimberly is vile and scary, but also like and journalists shouldn't have to go through this shit, Like, we're joking too about like being doxxed or whatever by even just discussing this, especially knowing this is going to end up on the Keep of Snapchat.
Right.
And people will be looking, but it's also like you shouldn't have to be like, I'm afraid of being doxxed. You shouldn't have to say, I'm not scared of these people, because you shouldn't have to worry about being killed by doing your job and reporting on a pop star. It's truly ridiculous, but also not just the scariness on the Kimberly part. I'm like, are none of these people who are online tweeting about people afraid that, like, one time in Nicki's name you're gonna say something about somebody and try and pull up and do something to them, and then they might get killed, or someone might go after them. I'm like, at a certain point, you're not gonna keep talking about me on the internet crazy. You can be found too.
Yeah. What I don't like in general with just like this very performative type of toxic fandom and standom that has been ascendant the last several years is that, like, it convinces people to care the most about the people who need the least care.
Right.
The people that you're toxic standing, they're so rich and powerful and wealthy. They're set for life. They don't need you to defend them. Nicki Minaj needs no one to defend her, right? And yet you convince yourself that if you're not out there tweeting on her behalf, she suffers. It's so wild to me. Like, put that energy towards anything else. Whoever you're toxic fanning and standing, they actually don't need it. They're fine.
Well, also just the primary problem with Twitter in general is we have accidentally gotten a lot of information from there, like that we use in our daily lives. And sometimes it's from, verified news sources. But in general, I think people just forget to ask, who am I actually listening to right now? Who is this person? Where are they coming from? Where is their information from? And I feel like stans are like the heart of the worst of the matter.
Do we like the new song? Because I secretly like the new song.
Super Freaky Girl.
It's grown on me a little bit. It's grown on me a little bit.
It works.
I hated it until I heard it in the club, and now I like it. And now I can't stop playing it. So it is. Yeah. It's good. It did its job.
It did. And I'm not going to say it's bad because I don't want the fans after me.
Listen, is it a classic? Are children going to be singing this song at graduations, weddings, at funerals? Probably not.
That fucking meme. Imagine singing at a graduation. It's so funny.
We used to do that though.
Oh,
I did not.
We would pick our senior year song. We picked our song senior year of high school, and it was Boys to Men, End of the Road. And I was like, it's 2002. Why are we doing this?
Wow.
Middle school, we sang I Believe I Can Fly.
That didn't age well.
No, my middle school graduation song was, of course, that Vitamin C song. It wasn't yours, Ira?
Oh. Yeah, no, but like the actually singing.
Oh,
well, maybe not middle school. I think grade school, actually. I'm like de-aging myself or something. It's like 4th or 5th grade. But we definitely were singing. Children were singing I Believe I Can Fly at graduations, weddings, and funerals. Okay?
The horrible standing on Twitter, it is always, I don't want to say funny because that gives these people a power that they don't deserve. But like when someone is violently mean on behalf of Lady Gaga, the person who innovated the term kindness punk, like what planet are you on? Like even with Nicki Minaj, at least a part of her style is to be cutting in lyrics. You know what I mean? Like I can intuitively connect the two a little bit. Not with anybody else.
Yeah. Also, go outside. I could get some of this energy during lockdown and pandemic. We're approaching full free now. Go touch grass. Yeah. Go walk a dog. Go do something.
Take the shackles off your feet and dance, okay?
You know, an old phrase that should be brought back, go fly a kite. Love that.
There you go. Yes.
Picture bringing a kite outside.
Come on, Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Charlie Brown, etc. Yeah.
I also, this is a brief aside, and this isn't to say that this is toxic culture, but I want to talk about celebrities and people tweeting in general. And we brought up like Rina Sawayama's album before it was coming out, and now it is officially out, and I don't love it. it's not hitting like the first album hit, but her Twitter presence lately has been
What is she
troubling.
doing? What's she doing?
I'm going to read how she like tweets now, and it's feeding into like the way Stans tweet, and I just feel like it doesn't make me feel great about the music. But I want to get your thoughts.
Okay.
Hold the Girl, track 8, Imagining. Are you gays satisfied yet? I don't know what genre this is, in parentheses, mother music. We have already choreographed this and it goes off live, but wow, I'm not quite fit enough yet, and so might need a puff of mother mist.
What is that?
There's a certain point where stans are like doing these insane, jokey tweets, like everything is slay and everything is like mother, this and that.
Yeah.
And now to see like an actual like pop star who was so innovative and original and fresh and like sounded so smart on this show too, talking about her music and art, tweeting like a gay with 23K followers on Twitter is troubling.
Here's the thing. Don't talk like that unless you can duck walk. Unless you can really serve. If you can't back it up, no. I just feel like, that's tiresome.
It feels like everything is slay now, and
everything is slay.
And it's funny because this goes into the conversation of like, are we okay with our pop stars being corny?
Right.
Because people used to accuse Lizzo of this, and I think people just thought Lizzo was corny because she was
That's just actually how she is.
She just as she is, but she was also just a fat black woman who was like, talking about self-love and loving herself. And I felt like a lot of white people picked up that positivity and made it corny themselves. Like, white people singing good as hell is corny, but the act of Lizzo doing it isn't corny. What was actually corny was being at Coachella and with like Don't Say Gay was happening, having Rina have the audience chant with her, when I say, you say gay. I'm like, no. We're not doing
Christina
that.
Aguilera did that at Pride too. Yeah.
Yeah, Christina Aguilera did that too, and it's like, wow.
Also, just like leave us wanting more. Some of these girlies, it's just like leave me wanting more. Don't leave me wanting less of you. I don't know. I just feel like with Nicki, with Rina, like you're talking about now, like a lot of this would be helped if they just like put the phone down and to stop talking for a bit and let the work do the work. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Well, I think part of the problem is you're right. Like Ira, what she's doing is internalizing vernacular that's being thrown at her on Twitter all the time and speaking in that, and which just feels contrived. It just feels like you're molding the conversation to a select group of people as opposed to just talking the way you would normally talk.
That's how I felt with Carly Rae Jepsen. Not in her language, but she was long a person who was championed by gay fans as being, like sort of like she felt like ours and underground, and we were like, why don't straight people know her beyond Call Me Maybe, And then she had that awful song Beach House come out, and the video was like gay TikTokers doing dances on the beach with her, and I'm like, this is not that kind. Like, where did you even get this?
Stay Canadian and pure, please. Yes, stay.
Thankfully, the new song is very good. I think that's
I love the new song. Talking to Yourself, great song. Yes,
that's her. It felt like a one-off though, like this is what the gays are doing. This is where the culture is. Like, and when you're trying to chase the culture, it always seems a bit. You're not innovative anymore.
And the music feels ephemeral because I feel like with Lizzo's latest album, she's trying to be, with every song, viral on TikTok, viral here. She wants to be like, this is the song for the bachelorette party. This is the song for the girl's birthday night. This is the song for TikTok and Twitter. And it's like, it's not going to last because it feels so ephemeral.
I like the album, but it does make me want to, hit a SoulCycle class.
Yeah, I actually still do it like About Damn Time. I do. I think I like the Nile Rodgers
vibe. That one's
vibe
catchy. That one grew me. But I think in general her vibe right now is very girl boss kids bop. And some of it works for me, but some of it is just like I don't think it stands test of time.
One of the best songs on her album is "Naked." Is like a sexy song about.
I want more of that.
Yeah, that sexy song. It feels Janelle Monáe. It feels sort of autobiographical too. It's about her body. Like I want music like that from her. I thought that was sexy. I thought it was smart. I thought it was brilliant. I think it's the best song she's ever written.
Just in general, though, it does feel to me like meme world and what you were talking about, like words that pick up like on gay Twitter, for example, and how we like exchange them 100,000 times has really given people permission to be cliche in a way that I think was not in vogue even like 10 years ago and stuff. And it's like, guys, you have to understand being cliche is boring. Like, truly, no one wants to hear it, even though it feels correct coming out of your mouth because other people are using the same words. Like, just be honest. Like, be actually articulate.
Be who you are.
Yes, right. I'm like, that is what I want to hear. That's what people want to hear.
Anyway, be yourselves.
That's the message of Keep It, as you know.
And go fly a kite. All right, well, we're back. Our favorite segment of the episode, as usual, it's Keep It. And we're back with our favorite segment of the episode. Sam, you've listened to us for years. Like, what's been boiling in your soul? Like, what's your Keep It?
Yeah, I feel bad because like my Keep It this week is not a fiery one. It's more of a question than an exclamation point. And the question is, Mark Wahlberg, what are you doing? This week it felt like that man put out a new Netflix movie every day. Like there's a lot of Netflix movies from him. I also keep getting ads on Twitter for his Catholic prayer app where you can like pray with Mark Wahlberg. Y'all seen this? Why?
I have seen that.
More like pray you can get away from Mark Wahlberg at a bar.
Thank you. But then here's what's crazy. After that, I was like, what's up with this dude? Why is he working so hard? Does he owe somebody money? I was like, what is his career like right now? He also owns a series of car dealerships, a big used Chevy car dealership in Columbus, Ohio, that's on top of having the Wahlburger burger chain. My Keep It is Mark Wahlberg's career. Why are you doing all of these things? It's weird. I don't like it. Something's off. Do you have gambling debt? What is it? Keep it. Stop with the movies. Stop with the restaurants. Stop with the business ventures. I will not pray with you. Like, I've had enough of this man, even though I don't even watch what he does anymore. What is it about him? What is it?
Well, he's white and from Boston. I feel like they have a hustle mentality.
When they're not hate criming people of color.
Oh, you will stay on his neck about that.
I mean, it happened. Did it happen? It did.
You can't just do a little hate crime in your youth.
No, not really. Not as a treat.
Every once in a while, you do just have like dark suspicions about like a celebrity's career. Again, I think I brought this up sometime last year, but for a little while, John Malkovich was taking like the 8th lead in movies that were not worth his time. John Malkovich, one of those sort of definitive theater actors of the 80s and 90s. And I'm like, why are you in Bird Box? Why are you in this movie Ava with Jessica Chastain? And it makes me think something is not right or there's blackmail involved.
Yes. Well, I've heard that Nicolas Cage, for a while when he was in all those movies, he was actually just in debt.
John Malkovich was a Madoff person, and so that's why he was working so much.
You would think he would have worked more at the time when he lost all that money and not, 10 years after.
Yeah, well, some of those movies that he did, were probably filmed 10 years prior. And then finally got released.
That's right.
I used to do that for a while, though, like Google a celebrity's name and Bernie Madoff to find out, is this why they're making the choices they're making?
Right. And sometimes it works out. Then you get Kira Sedgwick in The Closer, Yeah.
Have y'all watched these movies that Mark Wahlberg is in on Netflix? In one of them,
Absolutely not.
Plays Kevin Hart's best friend, and they have a birthday party together. And in the other one, he's like a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
A Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg movie, as much as that sounds like a great double feature. Probably not. And, the only actors I want to see pretending to be priests in a comedy are Ed Norton and Ben Stiller, okay?
I like that.
I love
Keep It Up the Faith.
Yeah.
Keep It Up the Faith, great movie. Lewis, what's your Keep It?
Okay, well, I'm doing something very controversial. I'm innovating something. I know Ira and I, we used to have a segment called Keep It Up, where we would encourage someone to keep doing something, but Keep It Up felt a little cheesy. So I am now innovating something else. Inspired by the song That's What Friends Are For by Gladys and Friends, I'm calling this segment Keep Shining. And
I like
Keep
that.
Shining goes to Cardi B. Talk about somebody who's done Twitter well over the years. Somebody, I'm not even going to say the person's name because I don't know who this is. It's just a person. Tweeted 4 pictures and said, celebrities that came out as bisexual but never dated someone of the same gender. Well, Cardi saw that. And she responded, I ate bitches out before you was born. Sorry I don't have razor phone pics to prove it to you. Done.
A queen.
Clear.
A queen. Also, I live
shining. Yes.
I live for any and all razor phone references because the kids don't know. The
No.
kids don't know what that era felt like.
The razor flip was like, you used to feel bad if you didn't have one.
The sound of the close of the phone.
So satisfying. You would have a
Yes.
phone and it was like a Chinese finger trap. It would be like flip, flip, flip. Yeah, you know.
Also, shout out to her delivering this week also some very good looking courtroom photos.
Yes.
It's been a while since like Naomi Campbell or something where you've had like a celebrity like walking into court with giving a fashion show. So
We love her.
Which is, by the way, as far as I'm concerned, like a shout out to like movies of yore where like the femme fatale would walk into court and have simply just a giant brooch. Like you had a testifying brooch that you wore.
I also, it's funny to think about our chat about Nicki. Cardi tweets as much as Nicki does, but Cardi's not getting in that kind of trouble. She's done something where like her Twitter persona is lovable.
well, she's funny. So
That is an interesting thing, though, because Nicki is very funny, but Cardi is determined to keep the funny light.
Cardi punches up. She doesn't punch down usually. You know?
Yes.
Right.
And Nicki just punches everybody.
Yes, absolutely. She's a rock'em sock'em robot. My keep it this week goes to so first of all, Adam Levine is a hoe, as we've all found out.
But a very pretty hoe. A very, very pretty hoe.
He is a pretty hoe. He is a pretty hoe.
Facial symmetry.
Yes.
He cheated on his Victoria's Secret model wife, whose name I unfortunately never know. But shout out to her. But he cheated on her with some girl, and it came out. And then we also found out that he wanted to name his third child he is having with his Victoria's Secret model wife after Summer, the woman that he cheated with. Wild behavior that celebrities are just like full on having DMs still with women on Instagram with like the verified sticker next to them. It's like people are going to screenshot these.
The Instagram DMs will get you. We know this by now.
They always get you. Maybe
this.
Twitter circles are getting people now too. People are screenshotting the Twitter circles and showing people that you're
course they
shit talking them.
Yes.
Right. But my keep it once again goes to how we should have kept this story on Adam being a hoe, but once again, the internet needed to bring out their vitriol toward Maroon 5, and
You are a stan. This is legitimate.
I do not get why people are so aggressively angry at Maroon 5 songs. Okay, they are.
I'll tell you why.
They're like the Cars. Okay,
No.
like
Shut
everyone
your
liked
mouth.
the Cars back then.
That is not even. No, sir. Don't you do that.
I'm sorry, that's true because there are many Maroon 5 songs better than Just What I Needed.
Here's everyone's problem with Maroon 5. You go back to that first album, Songs About Jane.
Songs About Jane.
It's really, really good. It was a bait and switch. You were used to a certain kind of sound, and then it totally went to something like urgent care, waiting room, rock pop. And sometimes it's really good, but it's not what Songs About Jane promised me. And I'm still mad about that.
Actually, can I say something? That is actually how I feel about Get Ready, Black Eyed Peas. Because
I was about to say
were
Black
good
Eyed
at
Peas.
first. They were good at first.
They had that album with like Macy Gray on it with a
It was like
request
neo-soul
line.
rap for a little
Yes.
bit.
And you
Yeah.
kind of thought that's what you were going to get. And then it turned into like, it's this, consortium of TJ
Yeah.
Maxx,
It was
Target,
stadium
and
pop.
Urgent
Yeah.
Care. And they all
Yeah.
got together and made music that sounds like somebody threw a calculator down the stairs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, don't switch it up on us.
Yeah.
Be who you're going to be from the start.
I will agree that they sold out, but, I feel like some of the songs do hit. My love of Maroon 5 also ignores the last 2 albums, but I go all the way up to Payphone, okay? Payphone and One More Night, okay?
One More Night's good.
Overexposed, good album. Not the Maroon 5 we were promised, but, it's like you meet a friend and they're cool, whatever. And then like a few years later, you see them like they're different. They go through a divorce, or maybe they make a lot more money. They're still the same person, but they got a different sort of like personality. It's like a recast on a soap opera. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Only some of the listeners will get this, but it's like Patrick Muldoon on Days of Our Lives into Austin Peck. They're both Austin Reed, but they're two different people.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say on that note, there is an obscure, not widely known Kanye West remix of This Love. It's really good. Go find it, listeners. You'll like it.
Mm-hmm.
I also, unfortunately, do to this day love moves like Jagger, which I mean is for if ever there was a back
Here's
to
my
school
question, though.
Kids commercial music, it's that.
Why
but
would
I love
anyone
it.
want to move like Jagger? He could not dance.
Oh, don't start with that. Come on.
He was seizing.
Okay, well that's what white people can do. Accept it.
Yeah, that's what and side note, the white people are moving like Jagger in every TikTok video that they've released.
No kidding.
With Renaissance. And I'm like, I need white people to like put down the album and stop dancing to it. Or if you're gonna dance, do dance like no one is watching, and make sure no one's watching, because people keep putting their viral videos. I see people keep putting up like choreography videos, and I'm like, some of these aren't hitting the way you're thinking they're hitting. You're not eating. No. You look starved. Anyway, that's all the Keep It we have this week. And shout out to Sam Sanders for taking time out of his
a pleasure.
Busy multiple podcast schedule to be here with us.
So good to be here with y'all. Listeners are going to say again, you can find me on Vibe Check on Wednesdays and Into It from Vulture on Thursdays. And also while I'm here, my entire team, make sure to ask them to come on Into It at some point soon. This is a formal invite. You both are
all right. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to bring it. Okay. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Well,
we look forward to it. We look forward to it.
I thought I was blacklisted from Vulture, but, I will come back.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Where is Iyanla?
Don't ask that question. You don't want to know.
Wow. that should be the beginning of a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.